Welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gulmer and a podcast engineer here. And I'm excited to bring you another episode of the World of Ability, which we have here every Saturday at 1:00 p.m. Central. And we are all about all abilities, and so I'd love everybody to join us on here. And if you are interested in being a guest on one of the shows, not just this one, I do have other shows in the network, to please let me know and we can get that all taken care of. And you don't need to have a disability to join us on here. And so sort of my little bit of connection with this is I have a diagnosis of autism, and I'm a part of the South Central Autism Society of South Central Wisconsin, which one of the things we've been doing the last several years is to put on an adult autism conference. It's been in the fall, end of October, early November. So if anybody is interested in learning more about that, I have started planning meetings in terms of that. It's kind of all about bringing the conversation between the disability community and the non-disability community, to learn more about each other, improve the communication and connection between the two, and so on. So to kind of kick us off here, you see we have headers. I guess let's just top off, but we'll come back. But I see you have Christian here. So Christian, are you there to
Hello, good morning. I'm here.
welcome, Christian. How's everything going in EC Marketing for All world?
Good. Happy to be here, happy to contribute, happy to support, happy to get to work.
So we met Christian through a few months ago through another mutual contact on another project. And just he helped him start his own show network. So we have the Podcasting for All network, and Conversation for All podcast, and which the Podcasting for All is now kind of collaborating, partnering with the World of Ability. So Christian, do you want to say anything about Conversation for All?
Conversation for All. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to be here and to be able to be part of the conversation. Excitedly had our second episode with some wonderful guests, Anissa from again Phoenix. I always get it because I always get it mixed up. It's Phoenix Women Healing, and it's out of Manhattan, Kansas, and that's why I always make sure I'm careful with it because I initially thought it was from Phoenix. It is not. It's just called Phoenix Women Healing in Manhattan, Kansas. And you guys can find it at phoenixwomenhealing.com. And what she's doing with her mission and supporting rape victims, and overall just speaking culture and women and thrivers, as her program and her work does. Our second guest was another wonderful Terry Price, an international motivational speaker and coach. She's worked with multinational organizations. She started unlimitedyouinc.com, and so that was phenomenal. And we're going to be having her take the main seat for Friday, and then we have a couple of guests that'll be coming on as well for this next Friday, that are going to be helping with some of the basics of what we need to look out for in finances and some of the scams that are going on. So within coaching, because she's a coach, and some of the network happenings that are going on. So if you guys haven't, Friday at 2 p.m., again, this is the Conversation for All. We're joining today's Disability Channel, the World of Ability Podcast Network, and Project Die Hard in support for our 22 veterans that take their lives every day. We're aiming to change that. Easy Marketing for All is committed to supporting organizations dedicated to veteran mental health and support of our diversity and underserved communities. But let's work together to raise awareness and provide more resources. Please share, like, and follow. If you guys are listening to this, please go over to the Project Die Hard LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Please do share, like, and follow. Same thing with any one of our other pages. And we are working on a page today for Conversation for All on Facebook.
Sounds good. So Christian, what kind of brings you into um what brings you into this kind of whole disability advocacy uh thing, or how are you uh like helping uh people with disabilities?
So what kind of brings me to it is, I mean, I love helping people. I come from a very diverse background and community building with foster children. My mom was a daycare provider. We were kind of a resource for down in San Diego. There's a big center known as for resources for family health, and so um, we've been around a lot of people, just human beings with different lives and different challenges, and then obviously myself, um, my background and kind of where I come from, um, and some of the challenges that our communities have faced, whether it's language or brain or things like that. A lot of it goes unreported, Emily, and just even unspoken about. And so a lot of stigmas that have kind of surrounded our communities for such a long time. And um, I've had the fortunate experiences within building business development, consulting, coaching. And so it took on a technological side of it, and how I love helping people. Yeah. So with digital and with marketing and social media and websites, but it really then it kind of took a turn in itself to help people that were either in contracts that they didn't want to be in, or they were in things that it just wasn't helping them, and or it was not fulfilling what they signed up for. And a lot of it had a lot of challenges because of, again, the language or understanding technology or contracts or different things like that. And it always ends up back on the owner, the business owner, and then their family. So behind every business is a business owner. Behind every business owner, there's a family, there's kids, there's real things. And so one of the biggest things that's always driven me is I perform and provide exceptional client experiences, but I just provide value anywhere and everywhere I go. And because of that, I was able to bring myself up, and um, I've had coaching programs and trainings and Anthony Robbins stuff back in the 2000s. So I've been around for over 23 years, and a lot of it has been given to me by my supervisors, management, ownership at these companies because, again, this is stuff that I would be able to articulate, learn, and then repeat, and then teach others. And so, as things are coming about, we have a, like you said, a mutual let's be trees.org and make sure that we reform funeral industry. And that really spoke to me because everything that I've mentioned and what I'm telling, what we're talking about is that we actually did have to bury my mom a couple of years ago, and we did have to fundraise, and we had to do go outside of that square box and that thinking, and we had to scramble to get her buried, and so it was definitely impacting. It was definitely something that just I don't want people to go through that, and it's hard enough as it is. So when she said that she had our friend, dear friend Sherry Wallace, had an idea to reform the funeral industry, and what I can do best is assist that, or any marketing or branding and conversion and websites. I said, it's a great thing that like-minded people, and as we're continue to open ourselves up and be wanting to contribute and contributing, so we're putting some legwork behind it. Um, we were able to meet other people and like-minded people like yourself, Emily, and other opportunities where we can kind of fit in and support different projects or different people or bring awareness to our communities. And so it's been really very short amount of time. Emily, I don't even think it's been longer than a month and a half, maybe. I literally started looking at the schedule.
Yeah, I see that we have Alan joining, a couple of our other friends joining us. I say Alan's here. Hi, Alan. Our
You
master
gotta find
connector.
it on mute button. You know how I am. No, good afternoon. Happy Saturday to each and one of you. Thank you for having me. Just here to support and listen. Yeah. Good afternoon, Miss Emily, the leader of the World of Ability, and Mr. Christian, MC, EC Marketing for All. Yes, I love it. I love that name. And every time I say it, just gets a little bit more brighter in my world. Thank you so much for having me.
Did you have a good birthday yesterday, Alan?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. God allowed me to live another year. I'm living in awe and gratitude, and just trying to. It's probably about they say very hot weather. Looking at it, and it's about 95 degrees. So I'm trying to stay in the air conditioner now. Yeah, I did have fun here. Thank you. And how was your Friday, or how was your weekend beginning?
It's been good. Thank you for joining us. But I see we also have Marianne here too. So, hey, Marianne.
Aloha, Emily. Thank you so much for having us here on the World of Ability podcast. I had an awesome foundation birthday as well on Thursday. I received an awesome grant, $1,000 as the winner for July. I'm Brianna of Waikiki. I'm the author of the Acts of Kindness series featuring 200 folk manus puppets. And my books are written for animation movies with 200 folk manus puppets, which do sign language. They're animal characters. And we have music by Lucy Lynch. So the dream is starting to roll true. And very excited to send these books to the Waikiki School for the Deaf. We'll talk more when Leon McClaw. And I also got contacted by the Awesome Foundation in Minneapolis to bring the books to the St. Paul, Minnesota School for the Deaf. So we need to talk to Santa about that a little bit later. So I'm just really excited that you put it out there, and you can apply. Everybody can apply on Awesome Foundation. They give $1,000 a month to projects in different cities, chapters, and countries. And I encourage everybody to take 10, 15 minutes and share your project, see where it can go and bring it worldwide. So I'll be talking more when Leon joins us a little bit later. I also want to thank Jay Stoyan of the Disability Channel. Part of that awesome grant foundation was used to hire him on with the Disability Channel to hire on other persons with disabilities to bring my books into animation movies and videos. So we kicked off on Thursday, my birthday. I had a great interview with him, sharing the story of how it all kind of started, the Marianne of Waikiki, how it started, the Acts of Kindness series, the garbage that was floating around my sailboat that led us to bring the first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness, the Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully book, and Righteous Acts of Kindness. So it's live on Facebook. And great, very blessed to be working with this new team for the next 4 months and as well with Dr. Laura. So we have scheduled for Thursdays and Friday mornings to have our interviews and bring our additional team members in, such as Leon McLaughlin with Clean Water Foundation and Dr. Liddy, my intellectual property attorney. So thank you, universe. And I can't wait to share these books War of the World. And thank you too much, Christian. You've helped me so much. You're always so positive. You listened, you reviewed my website, you give us good feedback of how to make it better. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in the fall with Leon's team in marketing, but it's just gonna be so much awesome uh, products that are going to be coming out there, and especially with Santa, Papa John being on his podcast. He's got the books. He's going to be doing storytelling of the books. And it's just going to be a great next 4 months. So thank you again for having me here. I'm Marianne of Waikiki. You can visit the website at actsofkindnessseries.com. That's actsofkindnessseries.com. And again, all classroom teachers in the United States of America can receive copies of my books from an organization called donorschoose.org. Donorschoose.org. Mahalo. I'm Marianne of Waikiki.
Thank you, Marianne, for all that. But let's just see, we have one of our friends from Legal Shield here, Debbie Miller. Welcome, Debbie. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
to
It's
join
great to
us
see.
today.
Great to be here. Kansas City's cool today, so it's a nice time to be in the house and all dressed up warm for our football game today.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
yes, I'm Debbie Miller with Prepaid Legal Services, Inc. I'm here to help families and friends have access to affordable law firms in their area all over North America. I love that our attorneys actually are very friendly and helpful and help all kinds of issues. August is Make a Will Month, so this is a great time for you. If you know someone who doesn't have a will, this is a perfect time to get that taken care of. But even for your friends who do have a will, it might be a good time to just check and make sure it's up to date, exactly saying what they want. With our affordable plan, monthly plan, you actually get to write your will and another will for your spouse or significant other at no additional cost. It's a thank you for being our member. And since this is Make a Will Month, August is for us, on Wednesday, we will have a free webinar with a lot of information from two of our attorneys, just giving information on the whole will process and what happens to your estate if you don't have a will when you die. So there's a lot of information and it's free, and it's a great time to just learn a lot of things that we all need to know. And so I'd invite you all to contact me. You can check out my QR code and connect with me that way. And we can have a short conversation. I can give you the information to get you on the free webinar this Wednesday evening here in North America. So thanks, Emily, for opening this, and for all of those other people with your organization. Appreciate the time to be here and share my information. It's nice to see Marianne and Alan and Christian. And of course, your smiling face is always pleasant to see. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you, everybody. So, um, so, uh, Ellen, would you like to say anything about your show? I know we've helped you start Master Your Connections. Or anybody have any?
Oh, well, no, I want to first of all, yeah, thank you so much, Emily. You know, and like I say, I'm very humbled. First of all, happy belated, or actually belated birthday, to Marianne Waikiki. I know that she's doing some amazing things over there, and she's working with Christian EC Marketing for All, which leads me to my our show, Massive Connections, on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific. I believe we have an amazing guest. I'm going to confirm it, but this week for Richard from Go Brunch and H&P. So it's going to be a very exciting time. And I may have another associate of mine from Washington, D.C. stop by. It's kind of almost a double whammy. We're going to see what happens. Massive connections, anything can happen because it's about massive connections. And like Marianne says, Jay Storian is responsible for just allowing me to be a part of the Massive Connections and the Disability Channel and the World of Abilities. All of them rolled in one. It's starting to, like your incredible globe there, Emily, everything is starting to fall into place with the EC Marketing, Family Shield, pro.com, is we can check out various different resources that the Massive Connections has and Massive Connections has, along with supporting the EC Marketing for All and his various different resources. We're collaborative, you know, collaborating, connecting, and networking is what I do. It's what we do. It's not about me, it's about we. So thank you. We're looking forward to this Wednesday, but here today supporting the World of Ability on this incredible, beautiful Saturday. Thank you for having me. Back to you, Emily, and the World of Ability.
So, I don't want to say, and maybe you said, what time is your show? To remind everybody.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock Pacific. You know, we do it on the East and West Coast, but it's 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. Every Wednesday. So we're looking forward to those who want to be a guest. We had the incredible Mary Waikiki at one point. And so we're just constantly looking for those with disabilities or no abilities or just the voice of the voiceless. That's what I'm here for, a mental health advocate. And but yeah, absolutely on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific, we are turning to MC Homes. But yeah, I'm just here to be a supportive, and I am honored to be here on a Saturday. Hope everybody has a great Saturday. I know the little ones are going back to school, so I know that there's a lot of support on that ears with helping the children of the world and the next generations to make it to their dreams and their visions. And yeah, just again, living in gratitude. Thank you so much, Emily. Back to you.
Let me see. So, just with kind of what Ellen was saying, I know Debbie, you've mentioned some stuff before about there you had some, I think, recently for people like going back to school and that kind of thing. Say anything about that, or is that still going on?
Yes, with Legal Shield, sending our kids off to school, it's the kids are our plans are family plans, so that means the children are included. So whether you're sending the kids off to school just down the street or off to college, university somewhere, the kids are included up to age 26, and that can be a lot of relief for some moms and dads sending those kids off. I know it's possible that getting out of home the home situation. Sometimes we have the idea that you're now free and you can do all kinds of fun stuff, crazy stuff. And sometimes our friends can get us into places where we might not want to be. So having our emergency button on our app is often very handy. And nothing else, even in a case of any other kind of emergency, having that a button to hit to actually be talking to an attorney, your attorney, like within 5 minutes to take care of the situation is a smart way to deal with life in a lot of cases. But even if you're not doing the crazy stuff, I know several families who've had their children or a home in at the school where they were going to go, and interesting things would come up. One landowner thought that the renters should be the ones doing the lawn mowing and the snow removal, but when the attorneys checked over the app or their information that they had signed, it did not include that, and so the kids weren't, obviously the kids hadn't had room to load in their lawnmowers from in all the things that they packed into their apartment. So it was good to know that they weren't actually required to do it because it wasn't in the contract. But it would have been easy to just say, oh, okay, we'll do it because the landlord said it was in the contract when it wasn't. So having the attorney be able to look it over was a big relief for the family. But there's all kinds of other things that can come up when you have children off in different areas of the world. And it's good to be able to have that app that Alan was just showing you to whether you just need to talk to the attorney about a situation, you can schedule it, or an emergency, and you can be talking with them right now. So, and even our will application is right there. So with your app, you can do all sorts of things. And if you had a speeding ticket, which I'm sure none of us would have, and of course, Marianne's boat may not speed that fast on the ocean, but speeding tickets can be dealt with right there on your app as well. Snap a picture of the ticket and whip it off to the law firm, your law firm, and they can deal with it, call you back and chat about the situation. And you may not even have to go to court. So it's a very handy app to have on your phone and free as a member. So thanks, Emily.
How do you get that app?
It's just in your store, your phone store. So it's right with all the other apps that you can get. It is a free app. So if you have a Legal Shield membership, you can just download it and get it all. Talk to get it set up. You do have to get it set up with your information. So, but it's part of your membership plan. So, Marianne, if you don't have it, get it downloaded. Or I could even send you a link to get it downloaded. So,
Great, that would be wonderful. Yeah, I highly recommend Legal Shield. Um, um, I had Legal Shield in Honolulu, Brevard and Jones Legal Shield, and they are amazing. They call you, they take care of you. They're like family Ohana. They reviewed contracts. When I had hired on someone to do web design, and it really wasn't a legit contract where they were trying to overcharge me. There was no agreement for 2 years, and they came through and sent a letter to that web designer, and what a great feeling. They've also helped me out with PayPal when I was being frauded, and also reviewed a leasing agreement during the pandemic. And yeah, so there is things where just because the landlord said this or that, but if it's not written down, then you don't have to pay them this and that. And some of these like temporary, subleasing contracts are, yeah, they laughed at them. I'm just telling you, the attorneys laughed at these contracts, and to see what these other people that believed in and trusted in were doing, but by the law, they did some things that were not correct, and the letter was written to them. So it's a great feeling to have. It's a great peace of mind, and learning lesson as well on both parties. So I highly recommend Legal Shield. And again, they contacted me when I was traveling and sailing, and yeah, they are amazing attorneys to have, and especially with identity theft that's happening out there. You want to protect yourself, and they'll come through and help you out with that as well. So there's a lot of fraudulent scammers that are out there. It's just reading another thing. And the influencers, on social media that say they're influencers, but yet they're really kind of scam and fraud and getting you to go into buy things and contracts and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, Debbie Miller, and love always hearing your stories. It's always great to hear a success story like that. I really enjoyed during Happy Neighborhood projects when I was a co-host in Hawaii and a sign language interpreter, hearing your stories. Cheryl Scott always gave a scenario and story, and it's just good information to know. Even though it's not happening to me, it may be happening to somebody else, and you can kind of share them and let them know. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Marianne. Yes, I love that our attorneys are attentive, and that they call you back soon instead of eventually, and can help us deal with issues. Sometimes they don't seem like such a legal issue until you start thinking about them, and then all of a sudden all the legal issues pop up and realize. I know some of our friends have had contracts sent to them, and after they had thought about them, they actually send them to the attorneys to review, and would find out that things that were kind of confusing to them, or they thought they might understand it, turns out that they had been totally right. But with the attorney saying this was the situation, it made it a lot clearer and easier for them to deal with. And so the attorney were able to deal with it for them. And that's always a big relief for all of us. So thank you, Marianne. And back to you, Emily.
Gretchen, did you have a comment, question?
Yeah, no, I third in support, and definitely, I cannot speak on Legal Shield. However, I will say that those all sound great, like great resources. I have heard something about the program, so yes, I am looking into that, because um, I'd rather pay 35 40, 50 bucks. I'm okay because our current retaining attorney is at 350 an hour. So I will love that break. Very, but let me go ahead and why I second and third that in folks that need to do their due diligence. This goes along with what me and Alan have talked about and what we're bringing awareness. It may not be happening to you, and it may very well be happening to you, but it's so shameful to say, man, I got ripped off. Hey, I paid this creative or this content creator because he told me he knew marketing. And it turns out nothing in his resume. There's no experience. There's nothing else. And sure, people are funny and they get up on YouTube, but it didn't help my business. Now I'm out. I'll give you one client example. He got taken for $16,000 in the span of 6 months from a quote unquote this creative person, and so they were sending them over designs and banners and all of this stuff. So he's got a good, nice, again, 16,000. You know how much he made in those 6 months back? No more than 1,500 bucks. So he went after the person, and we equipped him with some verbiage because we know what to say, and we're not legal or scholars, but we do know how to look over a contract and say, hey, you got some room here to defend yourself. And so the person disappeared, and the person's got disconnected and profiles and things like that. So it very much is happening in. And one of the running jokes I say is, boy, I miss this Nigerian prince letters, because those were simple, simple times, boy. And you get a letter in the mail, and you're like, oh, this, okay, oh, I'm okay, I'm good. Now, I almost got suckered just 3 days ago now, and I'm okay to admit it. I got an email that said about my Intuit. I don't handle that. My better half does. And I said, hey, you deal with payroll. I signed up for Intuit, but I thought it was a free, and it says cancellation and this in your account. And then she goes, right, I don't use that. And then I go, stop. What do I tell people to do? So I go to the bottom, I look at the footer, I look at the signature, I look at some of the icons, and I go, of course, this is fake. This is fraudulent. I can't believe I even entertained it for that small moment of time. But I go back to it, and I think folks that don't know, our friends, our family, our relatives, and some people that we might not even like. If we share these things that happen and we share that awareness, it helps out others to not only say, hey, it's happening to me, or it's happened to me, or hey, just willingness to say something about it. And we talked about that yesterday, about speaking for one another, for speaking for ourselves first, but then speaking for others. And so before everybody got on here, me and Emily were just talking about how it is that I came about to be on here, and kind of the very speedy, very speedy lane that we've taken to grow this and to start supporting everything. It's been a godsend. And again, appreciate each and every one of you individuals, and each of the missions that you guys got going on, each of the heart that you guys put towards your missions, because it definitely is something that maybe you feel it's small, but trust me, it's global, and it's taking off like a rocket ship. I was just laughing with Emily. It hasn't even been a month and a half that we started working on this, so it's beautiful. And so my aim and my goal is to continue to help each other, our communities, and to go through some of the scams that are impacting our veterans communities, our underserved communities, our women communities, just in our disability communities, because we have a lot of bad actors that are sneaking in, and they're portraying themselves as other things that are not. And then so we are going to be doing a whole scam thing in regards to it. So just again, and if anybody has any questions, we're more than happy to look at him. Uh, Again, we don't deal with legal, but if you guys have any spam questions, scam questions, any message questions, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. I get letters, I get text messages, I get emails forwarded to me. And again, to Marianne's point and to Debbie's point, it is on a whole different rampage. Companies are getting taken, students are getting funded, defrauded with funding opportunities. Companies by influencers or fake influencers or fake different things. So it is so rampant right now.
All right, Alan, did you have a question or comment?
Well, yeah, I'd like to echo what Christian said. That, I'm actually the walking, talking exact example of what's going on right now, and I am professional enough to know, if you blink once, and it's going to happen. And I'm currently doing the identity a tour of identity crisis. However, where my comms, and I started earlier today about gratitude, is leadership. I do have that the peace of mind. In fact, when I was showing you, that was actually just reviewing the paperwork that I gotta get to them. So those individuals are going to be rude awakening when they go up against the great legal community and surrounding of what's happening, because we got to stop this. At some point, the individuals are getting more creative. However, so are we. We have an army, a thriving community of growing that is going to combat some of these wonderful individuals, and I'm being very kind for the children in the house. But you know, we've gotta keep vigilant, and I always share with those or those who don't haven't heard me say, look, I locate, research, monitor, and market, and continue to monitor all offers, because some things slide up underneath in the dead of night or in the dead of day or whatever we're going to call it, and we're here to it, and hence the name. That's why FamilyShieldPro.com is I'm protecting family and businesses through being vigilant and sane. And I'm honored again to be a part of the World of Ability, the Disability Channel, and our community that we're growing here, just making it better for future generations. The children's of I remember when it back in the 70s and 80s with the phone booths and the chain letters where you remove things and move them up and down, and now they're getting more prevalent. But as long as we stay vigilant, we stay on top, and use the military strategy that I'm on, and probably be an honorable discharge of U.S. Army veteran and taking care of the veterans and the military family. That's a whole other story for another day, that they're going after the military families, and that we cannot have, not on our watch, not on my watch, not on your watch. We've got your back. And so, Emily, thank you for overseeing this incredible thing called the World of Abilities. You sit on top of the globe there. Back to you, Emily. We appreciate you all for the World of Abilities and Disability Channel having us be a part of our beautiful family.
Debbie, did you have anything you wanted to add to that about anything that we were talking about? Here we go. Leon coming on here.
Well, there's so much about Legal Shield and ID Shield that it's certainly could take hours to explain it all, but I know that I'm very grateful to have those connections where I can call up or hit my app and be connected with the identity people to help avoid those mistakes, because it's, as Christian mentioned, it's crazy the things that you get and how close they look like something that's legitimate. Even in my small hometown in Nebraska, several years ago, actually, somehow the ID people had been able to clone phone numbers so that I could get a phone call from my dad, supposedly, and it wasn't my dad at all. But when it looked on your phone, it would say it was coming from his phone number or from a legitimate business there in town. So people would automatically pick it up and answer it and assume that they were talking to, whoever, the phone company or the light company there in town. And they would, oh, I forgot to pay my bill. Oh, let me just send that over right away. So the ID thieves are getting trickier and trickier. And it's actually difficult for us to even keep up, or it boggles my mind to even think of all the ways that they can keep working the connections and fooling us. And so having other people watching over us and those kind of possibilities is a great benefit. Being able to just make a phone call and say, hey, is this really legit? Is it not? Is comforting and reassuring. And I'm glad somebody can keep up with it, because it kind of blows my mind. But
yeah, the internet securities are becoming more and more one of the big things that I will mention is when there's nobody that's going to make it urgent. So when you feel like you want to slow down and think about it, I always say pause, ask for a number, no matter who it is. Pause and ask for a number. Just if we can get into the opportunities where we pause and we take a moment to gather our thoughts, we can gauge that. And to your point, Debbie, I missed a bill and I was done with a company. So I was so upset because they just went from 150 to 270. And I'm like, nah, company. And I look at the number and I dial it and then I call and I'm looking and I click on the site and then I'm on the phone with him, and he tells me the 270 total. And then I go and then I said, but that's not the correct. Well, listen, all right, I'll take 100 right now, but give me the card. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then I said, no, 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 you're not listening. Well, just give me the payment. Just give me the card. And I go, I even pulled the phone back. I go, wait a minute. What? I said, this is, and then I said, let me speak to your supervisor. Why are you speaking to me this way? You want to make the payment? I'm going to take the 100 and just call it a day. I said, no, I want to speak to your supervisor. He declined to give me supervisor. He starts getting loud. So I hung up the phone and I look at, and I'm like, wait a minute. So not only are they creating fake phone numbers, they're creating fake websites, and they're going to Google and they're creating Google ad campaigns that match what you are looking for. So absolutely, Debbie, Dub Miller, if you want to do we can do a whole episode on the different scams that are happening and the different things that are going on that are affecting. And you know why? Because I love helping people. And the more that we inform one another, go, hey, you know what? Debbie mentioned that, you know what? Hey, this. And so we start getting, because that's what we can combat with things, right? How can we combat? We can't combat hate with more hate. Well, we're gonna go after them. No, let's protect our communities. Let's protect our folks. Let's make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and that when we're doing it with kindness. Okay, that we're doing it with kindness. That we're doing it with patience, and that we're doing it with understanding.
All
Definitely.
right, quickly before we get to uh Alan's question comment, I see we have a couple of our other friends here. Um, so welcome, Leon. And
How's
we
it
also
going,
have
Emily? How you
good.
doing?
How's it going?
Everything
How's life with the Clean Water Foundation?
everything's going real well. We're actually gonna be doing another garden party because the other one was so successful for Water for Children. It's gonna be this Sunday with Kim McGuire, the opera singer, who's doing a special set, and it's to a private group that sold out. I'll be speaking there. We also going to be sending more of the water units from the last garden party and our global giving fundraiser to the Hopi and Navajo reservation with these custom made special filters that we produced. So things are going super great. Plus, on August 14th, I'll be doing a presentation with the Kiwanis Club in Kirkland. So things are going really, really well to do another garden party this Sunday with a private group of executives to talk about the water situation for the children on the Hopi and Navajo reservation. We'll also be talking about our El Salvador concert, an Australian concert that we'll be doing in 2025. And I talked to the private equity company group that's working with us, and it looked like things are going to be going great for that funding, where we'll be able to put Mariana's book, Dr. Emoto's book in these water, juice, and coffee shops that they'll be opening up. So things are going great 360, which you couldn't be better. And it couldn't have never happened without all of us working together. So working together works.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
that's awesome, Leon. And it's Marianne of Waikiki. I wanted to share with you that August 8th was my birthday, and Alan's birthday was the 9th. And I heard you ran into Captain Mary, who I met in Ensenada. We both have the same birthdays.
Yeah, and I wished her happy birthday. We took pictures. It was amazing when I ran into her because I was having a meeting with one of the persons that's opening up the 290 coffee shop, juice bars, and stores. So we're in Kirkland having this meeting, and there was Captain Mary that showed up. And she talked about it was your birthday, which happy birthday, Mariana. And Captain Mary's birthday was the same day. So that's when you know working together really works. Because here I'm in a meeting with the guy that's opening up the 290 stores, talking about your book, Dr. Emoto's book, our whole water project, and up pops Captain Mary. How cool was that?
Yeah, and when we were in Ensenada, Captain Mary read both of my books, Underwater Acts of Kindness, and she was amazed to learn more about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And she and her husband, Captain Jack from Seattle, charter boats, I mean, big mega yachts with a hot tub around the world. And so she was very impressed reading the books and Rabbit Acts of Kindness. And I told her we now have the coloring books available on Amazon with
And Marianne, Earl is here, and so he can't stay long. He has to get going. So I just wanted to have him come in and say something or say hi.
sure. Hi, Earl.
Afternoon, everyone. Earl here with Night Wolf Event DJs and the Midwest Playbook Podcast. I'm doing a wedding this afternoon and this evening in Homestead, Iowa, at the Toll Berry Farm in Homestead, Iowa. And basically, yeah, we're set up and ready to rock and roll. I'll be presiding over the ceremony this afternoon, and yeah, we're just going to be having a good time over here tonight.
Awesome.
All the best. So Leon, I wanted to continue to share with you that my birthday wishes did come true. Leon, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I won the awesome grant foundation in July, and I received $1,000. And I have contacted the Waikiki School for the Deaf, and we have available scheduled Monday, October 14th from 9 to noon for you to present the books. I'll be in Vancouver, Canada, and we're going to purchase a water filter for the school. They're very excited. And I also contacted Andy Sexton from the Harbor Pub. It was the Harbor Pub's anniversary. I always celebrated my birthday there on the sailboat. And his grandson is deaf, and he would like to join you and do a Hawaiian blessing that morning. So we're going to go give these amazing books to the Waikiki School for the Deaf, and we'll get you transportation there with Kat Linker. So that was another birthday wish that came true. Also, I got an email on my birthday from St. Paul, Minnesota, awesome foundation, inquiring about the coloring books and how cool they were. And so we're going to need to talk to Santa about that. We're going to have to contact the school for the deaf up there for them to apply, and they can get the books also as well. So awesome news, very happy. And also Jay Stoyan, we kicked off, my birthday was my first interview with the Disability Channel. We also used part of that grant to get our visibility on the Disability Channel with hiring more persons on with disabilities. So we'll have weekly podcast interviews on the Disability Channel with 22 million subscribers on Thursday mornings and Friday mornings at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So Leon, we need you to schedule us in, and Dr. Liddy wants to join us so we can share this. We've sent the videos to them with Waterflow the Whale, with Lucy's music. They're putting all these amazing book flyers, all the advertising, campaign for us on the Acts of Kindness series. So we're rocking and rolling, Leon. It's really happening.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. And just like I said, when I met with Captain Mary, you're exactly right. Because where I was at in that meeting was at a Starbucks that's a half a block from the waterfront where they got all these yachts at. So you're exactly right. And the concert that I went to, USA Today, had just voted the Waterfront Kirkland outside concerts as one of the top 10 in the country. So yeah, things are going great, and it was all meant to be, and especially being there on her birthday and your birthday.
Yeah, so we can also apply for Awesome Foundation on the Water to do a concert there in Kirkland. And we also are applying for Awesome Foundation Seattle as well. There's two separate chapters. So again, whoever's listening, check out Awesome Foundation. They're giving $1,000 a month to projects that are happening in the US, Canada. We also know they're doing it in Toronto and Ottawa. So this morning I spoke with Jay Stoyan again and sent him emails and said, who can we contact to get these books going? And Jay's going to be putting me on some other radio shows in Ottawa, Detroit, and it's going to be amazing. And so I know Trevor Gibbs has been on our show. He evaluates websites to make sure they're ADA compliant. I told him about Awesome Foundation in Brazil and Florida, where he lives both places. There's also Australia, Leon, so we can look at Australia. So when the concerts happen next year, so there's also Pakistan. I applied for Pakistan because I hire the Fiverr graphic designers out of Pakistan and show them the amazing book flyers that we are creating. So again, check out Awesome Foundation, and it's back to school season. So all classroom teachers can receive copies of the Acts of Kindness series books, coloring books, and Folk Manus animal character puppets from an organization called DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. And last year, Subaru Hawaii gave $25,000 to teachers in the Hawaiian Islands requesting products for their classroom. And in 2019, Good Morning America raised millions of dollars over a weekend. So we're sharing how easy it is for our teachers in the United States of America to get copies of the books, coloring books, and Folk Manus puppets. They're for ocean cleanup. Anti-bullying is an October month. And we are working on the climate change book for you, Leon. Suzanne and I are working on the final two chapters, getting all this information about climate change, and we're sharing a video on the Disability Channel. Jay was very happy with all the starting of the followers and their applause, and this is amazing. And we're gonna just see this movement go forward, the Acts of Kindness series. So again, I'm Marianne of Waikiki, the author and Apple game developer. You can visit our website at actsofkindnessseries.com. Mahalo. So go out and play, Leon.
Yes, indeed. Like I said, we got a big show Sunday at Kim McGuire, one of the famous international opera singers, house. And we'll be doing the Kiwanis Club engagement on the 14th. We'll take pictures and send it out to everybody. So it's going to be a great week here in the Northwest, and opening up them stores around the country. That's coming together also. So it couldn't be better. Just when we thought it was great, it got even greater. Along with sending these filters on Monday to the Hopi and Navajo tribe. So thousands of children will now have clean, fresh drinking water on these filters that we're going to be sending out on Monday. And we will be doing a photo shoot.
So then, like,
Talking about photo shoot, Leon, tell us about your photo shoot on the cover of Gold Coast magazine. Tell us about that.
Yes, we'll be talking about that also at tomorrow's event, that we're on the cover of June-July edition. We were just on the cover of the June-July edition of Gold Coast magazine, which it covers Medina, Yarrow Point, Kirkland, where we were at, the whole east side, that whole east side marina area. And so we'll be talking about that also. They'll be going to El Salvador and Australia with us, the CEOs, to write more articles about what we're doing. And we're working with them where we can probably get an article a month written on our water and music projects for children around the world. So I'm working on a deal with them also, which is absolutely fantastic. But the things we're doing for these children is amazing, and it's all coming together. So we couldn't get it better than that. And to be starting to open up those stores where we can have your books in, the puppets, along with Dr. Emoto's books. And another great thing, the CEO of Dr. Emoto will be in Sedona, Arizona in October when I'm in Hawaii to go on the reservation to talk about the books. Her name is Michiko. So great things all around the board.
Yeah, so want to know, Jay would like to know if you can join us on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning when we have our disability interviews, Leon.
Only reason why I can't, because I'm in morning meetings every day for the next 2 months. And as you know, on Wednesday, which I believe is the 14th, I'm doing the Kiwanis meeting that I'll be doing. So, and we normally had a meetings in the mornings with airline ambassadors, and that's a nonprofit for American Airlines. So I won't be able to make it for the next few months because we're working on opening up these stores, and we have our morning meetings every day around that time.
Okay.
But other than that, everything is going great.
Well, we are working on writing. I'm real excited. We have 2 more chapters that are being written with Suzanne Sims, my writer, and we're working on redoing the front cover of the book and working on the back cover, the storyline. So we're still in development, and which is good news and moving forward, and really excited to be part of this project with you. Thank you so much, Leon, for having me be part of this project.
Oh, I mean, it's amazing. Like I said, when we met Captain Mary, I was actually on the waterfront then, putting together your books, Dr. Emoto books, the water project for these 291 stores that we're going to be opening up that will be water, coffee, and juice bars. And like I said, I just got with the private equity group that we're working with, and look like everything is going smoothly. So pretty good. And like I said, it just show you working together works.
So who else do we have on here, Emily? Thank you so much for being the podcast engineer.
It's just you and Leon at the moment.
Okay.
So Leon, what's the latest with the United Nations? Have you done anything with the United Nations recently? I know you've think you've done stuff with them before.
Yeah, we're actually going to be doing World Water Day 2025, and we're preparing for that. And
Okay.
that will be March 2025, and will be part of the United Nations World Water Day. And that's talking about our water and music for children projects. So we got great artists that's joining us. Um, we got a whole community now behind us with the East Side, just like I said, with Gold Coast Magazine, on the east side of Bellevue, Medina, Kirkland, Yarrow Bay, the whole like Se Seattle suburb area. That's going well, along with American Airlines nonprofit airline ambassadors that'll be actually putting the article about our next garden party on Sunday, and it'll be on their website, also in a newsletter. I'll send it out to everybody. But to have these artists join us, to have the community join us, and to be able to send these filters out to these kids, to have clean water, because as you know, on the Hopi and Navajo reservation in Arizona, they are drinking water with arsenic in it. Uranium is in that water. So we're bringing in these custom-made filters to solve that problem. And if anybody would like to donate, and 100% of the donation go to purchase water units or filters, you can go to www.cleanwaterfoundationwa.org. So they can see what we're doing. You could get a tax write-off if you do donate. $150, purchase a water unit that could provide water for 50 people. The unit lasts for 30 years. You change the filter after every 10,000 gallons of water has been used. And those filters is normally like a $200 filter that we get for $50. So we're working with the manufacturers to make everything affordable for the children and their families on the Hopi and Navajo reservation. And that's why our saying of working together works, and it's really working. And when we send these water units out on Monday, it'll be like 80 more filters that's going out, and over 4,000 people will have clean, fresh drinking water on the Hopi and Navajo reservation. So for us to be a small organization like we are, to be able to have a big impact like that, it's like being a mini, mini, mini me Gates Foundation. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
another thing too, we just got an artist actually that was just on NBC local news in Las Vegas. His name is Teddy Davis, that just came out with a song for us, a theme song called Embrace the Child. And this song was the second runner up when they made We Are the World. So the song never got released because they did We Are the World with Michael Jackson and all those guys. So it's been in like on the shelf. He brought it out. Lionel Richie was gonna pick the song, but they picked We Are the World. And now we have the song for the Clean Water Foundation, and it's being re-released because it was never released because We Are the World got picked. It was the second runner-up. They are remixing it, and now the Clean Water Foundation will have that song called Embrace the Child. He actually performed it last week in Las Vegas on the NBC show. That's the local affiliate in Las Vegas. So I'll send everybody a link on that.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The Clean Water Foundation will have a song.
Yeah, that we got a song from the We Are the World group, that this song was second runner up, and We Are the World ended up being the number one song. So it was on the shelf, and now we have it, and it's called Embrace the Child. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations. I know all this, it feels really good for all the artists who work hard on projects and they're not seen, or it's just a matter of timing for the universe to launch them. So thank you again, Leon, for, bringing this on. And I wanted to share with you too, the photo here of me. I was taken at Unity Church of Hawaii. I was a sign language interpreter there for over a decade. And I was taken out to dinner. And a friend is an artist. He does book covers. And he actually drew a portrait of this picture here. So I have that. I framed it. It's in my framing box now with all the books. And just real exciting to have that happen and being recognized. And yeah, so good things are happening with the universe, and it just takes some timing, and it's a new beginning, and we'll be launching it, and we're helping people with getting clean water worldwide. That's amazing, Leon. So with the
Yeah, I
article,
just put in
Leon,
the chat book the link to Teddy performing Embrace the Child. I just put it in the chat box.
so I have a couple more questions, Leon. With your being on the front cover of Gold Coast magazine, where was it circulated? How many people received that magazine to hear about Clean Water Foundation?
Well, this magazine is a private subscription. So the people that receive this magazine, they have homes of $5 million on up. And it's in an exclusive area. That's why they call it the Gold Coast of the Seattle suburbs, which is on the water. And so it was in an area that's called Medina, where Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos live, along with a lot of other executives. Yarrow Point, Hunts Point, Bellevue, Kirkland is called the East Side. And as you know, Seattle is the new Google land, especially Kirkland. And then you're looking at Bellevue, Microsoft run that. Amazon run basically all of Seattle. So Seattle has become the new Silicon Valley. So this magazine, Gold Coast Magazine, is an exclusive magazine with a private subscription. You can't even get it on a newsstand. It's exclusive like that these multi-millionaire and billionaires subscribe to. So it's circulated through these homes, and the average home is 5 million on up. So pretty
Wow.
exclusive.
Yeah. I have another question for you in regards to Seattle. I know Seattle, when I visited many years ago, visiting a college friend, it rained a lot. What is the weather like there since all this climate change is happening? Is it
It's
still
it's like San
raining?
Diego. It doesn't rain like it used to in Seattle. In the old days, Seattle was like you said, it would be raining from October to after the 4th of July. That no longer is happening because of the fact of the global warming. And you're getting a lot of wildfires like never before. So it's definitely has big time change from raining to now tropical Seattle. And when I met with the United Nations, that's what's funny that Emily said that about what we're doing with the United Nations for World Water Day. They have already did a study, and you're going to see a lot of places look like the Sahara Desert with this global warming thing. People are not really taking it serious, but it's super serious. You're going to see droughts. You're going to see all kind of things happening. That's why you can't even go to Alaska no more in the cruise ship. When they used to blow the horns when they go by the icebergs, they can't do that no more, because now if you blow the horn, the icebergs start cracking up. That's how bad it is out there.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, we've been reading some articles too, and the beaches too in Hawaii are shrinking. And seeing some photos and the link of a canoe, and we're losing our beaches, and so yeah, it's the sea water is rising, And it's going to be, pretty devastating to small little island communities, and we just read an article too about water, and um, so many people have been coming down with gastrointestinal issues because of the flooding and the sewage in the water and the microplastics. Um, yeah, it's crazy and changing. And so if everybody look on the ground, find 10 pieces of plastic, walk over to the garbage can and put it in, get a garbage bag, you know, go volunteer at your ocean cleanup days. There's so many ways that we can, take care of Mother Earth and our planet here. And yeah.
No, you're exactly right. It's totally amazing. Is when I was in Bolivia, I was talking to this guy that's a pilot, and he's been flying over the Andes for 30 years, and he was telling me how it's like Mount Rainier. You don't see that snow cap like you used to. And the same thing out here, same thing. It's like you said, you used to go to Seattle when it would rain from October to after the 4th of July. And so you only had August, September, October. You only had really 3 months if you were lucky of like weather where it wasn't raining. Now that no longer happens. I mean, Seattle is turning into, like I said, tropical Seattle now.
Yeah, we just read an article too. Antarctica is increased 50 degrees Celsius, I guess, and starting to melt. And
Yeah, I seen that.
where is that melting ice going? It's going into the water, which rises sea levels. The penguins, the polar bears, that's their environment, that's their home. And polar bears are getting skinny because of not having the ice to cross to get fish. And yeah, it's very every day it's something new that's coming out. And lakes are no longer there. If not, you see boats with their keel not in the water, it's in the sand. And yeah, so a lot of livelihood too with, the boating community. Captain Mary and Captain Jack are delivery captains. And so Kurt and Emily and Sue Roscoff, they're up there in Wisconsin. They're doing their water ski shows. So it'd be interesting to find out about them, how much the water has changed up in Wisconsin with the climate change. Did it go down? And where's their future going to be in water skiing? So that's a good topic to bring up next time when they get done with their season here, and see what's going on. And a lot of marine life are being affected. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. We keep reading articles of
Oh
what's
yeah.
happening.
Well,
And you
our
yourself.
campaign right now is called Keep Them Off the Plastic. So we're
Hmm.
doing a thing with the water filters, because when you look at this bottled water that people is buying, with the
Hmm.
plastic actually is worse than the tap water, because you got this plastic. And when, like, say for instance, if you're in Vegas right now and you got some bottled water in your trunk bringing it home, well, it's so hot because of the heat, or Arizona, that plastic is actually melting into the water, and it's worse than it was um, than the tap water. And the tap water is bad. So that's why we tell people to get a water filter and then get your water that way. Because another thing with the plastics, when they melt, and say they don't melt, and you're just drinking water out of a plastic bottle, you're destroying the environment, because once that plastic bottle is thrown away, it's not good for the environment. So our campaign is keep them off the plastic. It's like
Yeah,
drugs.
that's
You got to keep them off the plastic. It's just like you got to keep a person off of drugs.
right.
Right.
Wow.
Welcome,
Now we got to.
welcome, Santa.
Hi,
Good, af-
Santa.
good afternoon, folks. How are we doing today? How's Leon doing today? Hi, Marianne. Hello,
Everything's
Emily.
going great, Santa. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. It's a beautiful, well, it's a little cloudy in Minnesota today, but it rained a little bit yesterday, so the humidity is down. The windows are open. The breeze is blowing. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Sienna, I want to share with you, Leon, too. My birthday wishes came true on Thursday. I won that awesome grant foundation, and we're going to be getting the Waikiki School for the Deaf. I also applied for Awesome Foundation in Minnesota, St. Paul, for the School for the Deaf. And I got contacted on my birthday from Mary Morris, who loves the idea with the coloring books. They're so cool, she said. And she wanted to know more. So we need to talk, Santa. We need to connect with the school and the teachers because Awesome Foundation would like them to request the books and then they can get them from us. So, what a birthday wish. And Leon ran into Captain Mary, and Captain Mary and I share the same birthday. And I met her in Ensenada a year or so ago. And she read the books while we were in port, and she was amazed. She sails all over the world with her husband on big mega yachts and was amazed to learn more about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which we have in the book Underwater Acts of Kindness, which you received. And she read Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully, and loved it. She's going to get coloring books for her grandchildren. And she met Leon, and Leon's sharing the story of how we're going to be marketing the book. So, what a great birthday wish week!
That is awesome. And there's another tale though, Marianne. You started a dream, you figured out a plan, and you didn't quit.
Yeah, thank you, Santa. And we kicked off this past Thursday with Jay Stoyan on the Disability Channel, and we used part of that Oahu grant to hire on him, who hires on persons with disabilities. And we had our first interview, and it was a success. He has 22 million subscribers, and we're getting the word out there. We're going to have other radio shows in Toronto, Detroit, Ottawa. And so I got the next 4 months to talk about the Acts of Kindness series and how to get the books and coloring books from Donors Choose. And you received the book, so we'll talk about your sharing the stories. And we have a little mini horse on the way to you, Santa. So go
Awesome.
out and play. It's Marianne of Waikiki. And Santa, I just want to tell you the mini crabs are out of stock. So we need to, find out when these are going to be available because Christmas is right around the corner. So go out and
136
play.
days. We are down to
Unbelievable.
136 days.
Unbelievable. Yeah, time is definitely flying.
It sure is. People said to me back in, February and March, why is Santa promoting? Hey, I'm planting seeds and I'm creating a positive, happy, joyful memory so you can think about me, when September, when I'm starting to go crazy busy and I might be able to fit you into my schedule.
That's exactly right.
You know, and Leon, I'm going to be reading Marianne's books, but I'm also reading books to everybody else. And wouldn't it be cool to have Santa read your children, grandchildren, a story with their name in it? And I'm teaming up with a few organizations that could be a fundraiser for them, that I give away one of my customized stories and they're going to raffle it off. So I've talked to a few people already. They love that idea because it's going to attract many different types of people to their organizations.
That's an awesome idea. And as we call that, it'll be part of our bundle package, and we can definitely promote that. So that'll be great. It's just like Mariana already know that we're looking at opening up over 291 stores. There'll be water, coffee, and juice bars. We'll have Mariana's books, puppets, in there along with Dr. Emoto's books in these coffee, water, and juice bars. And to feature some of your stories and to talk about it in some of maybe our flagship stores when we do these promos would be great.
Yeah, because the more reach we have, the more people are going to understand what you're trying to provide around the world, that there are alternatives to, bottled water, drinking water, safe water, because we all know there are many, many places around this world that don't have safe water. And there are technologies out there, but some of them are way out of the price league and price range of some of these places because they just don't have the financial capability to buy some of these programs, utensils, tools, filters, however you want to describe what needs to clean up the water.
That's exactly right. And
You
that's
know,
the reason why we actually give away the water units for free. And if people want to donate to give to a school or a home, they can donate and get a tax free deduction. And that's the reason we have the music water projects, because if you're in like the bowels of Bolivia, the bowels of Africa, they don't have money in those schools to have clean water. They don't even have running water in their homes in
no,
certain parts of the reservation for the Hopi and Navajo, along with the Blackfeet tribe who I'm working with. And I'm working with a new tribe, the Dakotas. I'm working with those guys also, but they got homes with no running water, so we have to do gravity feeding. It's places in the world in Cambodia where they're in the jungle, and we got to do gravity feeding. Same in Africa. So that's
well,
why we give the water units away for free, along with the replacement filters.
Leon, they've done gravity systems since the Romans. I mean, Romans, if you look back in history and some of the aqueducts that they built 2,000 years ago, why can't that same technology be used today? Because they're
Well,
thinking
that's what we're
about,
doing in those
yeah,
homes with no running water. But the bad part about it is that, you know, here I am in a place, especially in the United States, and I'm in a home with no running water. I should have a pipe line to go to my home. And, that's why we're changing, putting these water treatment plants in, putting piping in. And you're exactly right what you're saying, but here I am in Montana. Here I am in Arizona. Here I am in the Dakotas. Um, Americans helping Americans. They should definitely have pipes. Look at Flint, Michigan, lead in the water. I mean, we're in the
yep,
richest country in the world.
yep.
And the baby got to
And
drink water with lead in it, and you're in America. Now, I ain't talking about, like in the jungle of Africa. It's right here in America. We should have pipes and clean water all across the world, because you're looking at 50% of the hospital beds are filled with people. The world hospital beds is filled with people with waterborne illnesses. And if we can correct that problem, so imagine if we can bring the world clean water, which we can, you done just freed up 50% of the world's hospital beds. That could be a patient coming in for something else, not a waterborne illness. 2 million people die every year for lack of clean water. So this is a problem that could definitely be solved.
and I haven't even touched on the native reservations in Canada because they threw them into remote places. They're drinking dirty lake water that is, contaminated. They don't have the resources to put in a new system. So, that includes thousands and thousands of people in Canada. Again, our great neighbor to the north, where I'm originally from. But you know what? why do places like this not have the resources or the ability to acquire systems like you're providing?
That's exactly right. And that's why we're doing that, to change that. And like I said, we're just a small organization, but if we can provide 4,000 people water like we're doing on Monday, that's a big win for us. But just think what the big corporations could do. And now that we're getting the word out, we're definitely making an impact. With working with you, working with Mariana, working with Dr. Emoto. It's a grassroots thing.
But it all starts somewhere, Leon.
That's exactly right. And just like we're on this show, The World of Ability, the word is getting out. And since I've been on the show, The Word of Ability, thousands of children now have clean, fresh drinking water. So that's where it starts somewhere starts. And look what it's been doing.
That's good. That's very positive. And the reality of that is if we keep communicating, we keep knocking on doors, they're going to realize that there is a bigger problem in this world that they can help solve $1 at a time.
That's exactly right. That's why what's going on now on Sunday, when we just had one of the top opera stars give us another event to a private, exclusive garden party this Sunday, where all these executives is going to be at, and for me to speak at that event and to get the people, executives involved is amazing. To get the private equity company that's joining us, that's funding owners with over 290 stores across the country, and to have our products in the stores, the books in the stores that Mariana is putting together, with Dr. Emoto's putting together, to have some of Mariana's puppets in those stores, where we got a movement going.
Yep, and it takes one conversation to ignite a handful of conversations, which we all know the power of networking, the power of the communication, the power of knowledge, of simply letting people know that there is this crisis happening around the world, that we as society should be willing to step up to help our fellow human being.
That's right. That's why when we're coming in with the new theme of working together works, and it's just like what we're doing on the reservation. They are Americans and we are Americans. And our new theme is Americans helping Americans.
Yep.
Not we're helping the Indians or we're helping the Native Americans. We're helping Americans.
Yeah, I guess the word I could be using is the stigma has to be pushed aside and say, hey, we're all citizens of this country. We all, just because something bad happened in your great great grandfather's time and my great great grandfather's time, doesn't mean things cannot change to make things better for all of us.
Oh, you nailed it. And the one who told me that, I'm in Las Vegas and I'm talking to one of the heirs of the Coors Beer Corporation. And I'm telling her, she was like, yeah, this thing you're doing on the reservation is great with the Native Americans, but you should come up with a theme of Americans helping Americans. And that'll be a whole new twist. And that's who gave me that idea. So you're right. You talk to people, you learn things. Can you imagine one of the heirs of the Coors Beer Foundation? We're in the Bellagio, David Osborne, who's a pianist, one of the greatest pianists in the world. He actually played at Rosalind Carter's funeral, and he'll be playing at Jimmy Carter's funeral. He's known him for years. He's played at the White House with 7 different presidents. He plays in Las Vegas at the Bellagio. He's one of the greatest pianists in the world. I'm here. I was at his show. He introduced me to one of the heirs of the Coors Beer Corporation. We sit down, we talk, just like you said. And when she gave me that idea, I said, we're definitely going to use it, and you're 100% right.
Did you nail her for a check for 100 grand?
We definitely are going to be talking to him about doing a show with us in El Salvador and Australia, where they'll be one of the sponsors. And that's what we're putting together now.
There you go. There you go. Because, 100 grand to those people is, pennies to you and I.
Well, just like she said, I buy water that costs $500 a bottle and then only drink half of it. So
Yeah.
what you're doing is amazing. So yeah, unbelievable. I didn't even know it was a $500 bottle of water out there.
Either did I. How's that sound?
Yeah, and imagine drinking half of it and throwing the other half away.
But the reality of that is a glass of water for you and I. We walk away from that most of the time. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. And just because they have a couple more zeros on their bank account doesn't mean they don't do the same thing. Now, just because that bottle of water happens to have a few more zeros on it than the type we do, doesn't mean they don't have bad habits as well, Leon. The people of all age spectrum, money, we all have bad habits. And how do we change those habits? We have to learn a new habit. And I believe that the latest terminology is the new habit has to be done 7 times before it becomes a standard new habit in your
That's
brain.
exactly right. It's just like we do hand washing competitions in Bolivia because the kids can't afford to waste water. So when you see how they wash their hands, you see how they wash up and how quickly when that water hits that tap, if it's a tap, and what they do with these hand washing competitions, it's amazing. Where we're in the shower for a whole half an hour whistling a song, and they can't afford to do that. So the waste is amazing.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It sure is. But yeah, I mean, this country has so many lakes that are crystal clear that haven't been touched by humans. Why can't we start utilizing some of these natural resources to help it's not necessarily underprivileged, underserved of a common natural feature that we all enjoy, but yet these people in certain places don't have that opportunity. And the bigger question is why?
Well, the good thing is we're getting the word out and we're answering those questions. We just did our 5-year anniversary in the Bill and Melinda Gates Discovery Center Museum, where we designed a solar water unit, and it's now featured in the Bill and Melinda Gates Museum out here in Seattle. We also have one of the solar units that we designed that's in World Vision's Display Center. So as all these thousands of people that goes through these museums, they got our story out there. So it is working. We're getting corporate to work with us. We're getting the everyday person to work with us. We got some amazing artists that's working with us. So by us being a mini me organization compared to a Gates Foundation, compared to the Peace Corps, compared to Starbucks, compared to all these other big organizations who is actually working with us also, we're making a difference.
Yep. Yep. And you know, never quit, never give up, and always push the idea forward, because right around the next corner is your golden ticket.
That's
Hopefully.
exactly how it works. Here I'm sitting up last Thursday, and I'm on the corner of Starbucks, a block away from, actually a half a block away from where all these big super yachts is. Who do I run into? Captain Mary, Mariana's friend. She says, Leon, how you doing? Because she's been to some of our events. And I'm like, oh my God, Captain Mary, it's my birthday and it's Mariana's birthday. We take a picture. We're laughing, we're talking. I'm actually in a meeting with a private equity funded guy who's opening up these 291 stores where our water equipment will be in, where the books will be in from Dr. Emoto, where Mariana's books and puppets will be in. And it just happened like that. But the energy was so positive. All of a sudden, I get a phone call, and this stuff is not even planned, from one of the famous opera singers. And she says, I got a private party I'm having. It's been sold out for months. I was talking about you and your water project, and this is for these executives that she's doing this private party for, and it's been sold out for months. I would like you to come do a presentation, and let's have these people donate. Just like you said, the Coors family, did they do this? So they got just as much money. And next thing I know, I end up getting it booked. So being out there, it happens like that. And you never know when it's going to happen. But if you're positive and out there, it will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. And I'm saying, I'm doing the same thing. You knock on the doors, you knock on the doors, you knock on the doors. You might get 4 no's in a row before you get a yes, but that's okay, because you get enough yeses. Those other four no's are going to go, you know, maybe there is something to this whole story that's happening, that maybe I need to be a part of it, because the bigger picture is showing a positive result, and it's stirring up a lot of interest from a lot of different people. And that's the old proverbial knock on the door about any business, any idea, any thoughts. You keep knocking on the doors, because you're going to find the one that says yes.
That's exactly how it works. And it's been working like that for me this last week, where it's just been amazing.
And it makes you feel good too, I bet, too. Absolutely, knowing that people are understanding what you're trying to accomplish, because it's a bigger picture than just you.
That's
And
exactly
yeah,
right.
Stan, I want to share too. You know, I sitting inside, it's extremely hot out, and wanted to do the project. So I sat down and I looked at Awesome Grant Foundation and all these different chapters. And it took me 10 to 15 minutes to apply. And you know, different strategies of different flyer photos I was doing. I applied for Leon in Seattle. I applied for On the Water. I applied in Pakistan. I applied in St. Paul, Minnesota. And guess what? On my birthday again, someone from Awesome Foundation wanted to know more about these beautiful coloring books. They look cool. And they sent me a reply. I forwarded it to you today. So we need to connect actually with someone at the St. Paul School for the Deaf for them to apply on Awesome Foundation to receive $1,000 to get the Acts of Kindness series book. So we'll wait to see, Leon, what Seattle Awesome Foundation, when they have their meetings and on the water. And yeah, so it doesn't hurt just to quick apply. People with different projects around the world. And again, I know it's back to school season. Schools are getting in session. We've given the books to a principal in Tucson, Arizona, who's bringing it to his school board. He also is bringing it to the school for the deaf in Tucson. So we're going to be multiplying these acts of kindness, Santa, multiplying the acts of kindness around the world, and how easy it is for teachers to request the books from an organization called DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. A special education teacher in Hawaii, the island of Oahu, Marilyn Rogers. She's retired. She told me about it when I returned from a sailing book signing tour, and she requested 50 books, and she got funded in 2 weeks, Santa. And Amazon shipped out the books to the class, and they read the chapters of the books for ocean cleanup. And my first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness, where Noah, the hard of hearing whale, is recruited by a sea turtle called the General of the New Earth Army to tackle the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California. And the children were very excited. They were asking where Dr. Fingers is. And we brought out the puppets, passed them around, taught them the finger spelling ASL alphabet. And the principal was there. Other teachers joined us, and we had a great time. And now, Santa, we're going to be doing that on the Disability Channel with Jay Stoyan. We're so excited. We're using part of that grant to talk about the Acts of Kindness series books and being interviewed. We'd like you to join us this week and share the story. And again, with Donors Choose last year, back to school, Subaru Hawaii gave $25,000 to the Hawaiian Island teachers requesting classroom products. And in 2019, Good Morning America raised millions of dollars over a weekend. So here's a great opportunity, a win-win for everybody, Santa. So go out and play. I'm Marianne of Waikiki.
Absolutely. And there's the proverbial Leon, you can attest to this. And Marianne she kept knocking on doors, and finally someone said yes. So, you keep going, you keep struggling, you keep persisting. You always show the happy spirit, regardless of how low and how down you get, because someone is going to watch and someone's going to check and someone's going to say finally yes. And the reality of it, it doesn't matter how big or how small the project is. There is someone out there that is going to say yes about a project, as long as it is for good and it's doing somebody some positive.
Right. So yeah,
Yeah,
we are
that's
getting
exactly right. And I'm going to tell you why. Because say we give a fundraiser and we only raise, I'm going to give you an example, $150. And it's like 500 people there, and you only raise $150. And people say, oh my God, this fundraiser was a disaster. You got 500 people, you raised $150. You say, no, it ain't, because that one water unit that we got that $150 for was able to get 50 people clean, fresh drinking water. And that unit lasts for 30 years, and they don't have to change the water to after 10,000 gallons of water. So that's why I laugh when we get these fundraisers, because we only need $150 and we done save 50 lives. If you look at a life is precious. So if you save 50 precious children's lives, I think you've done your job.
Absolutely. But if you promote it that way, it's kind of funny how, if you only get $150 and there was 500 people there, and you show what you can create out of $150, boy, I think there's going to be a level of guilt going through those other 499 people that didn't contribute, that maybe there'll be more envelopes showing up in the mail after they realize that you don't think of it as a failure. You think of it as a success, a small success, but all successes can be positive when you look at what it can accomplish.
That's exactly right. And that's why I brought up that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Marianne has found an association to sponsor, because we know teachers, they take too much money out of their own pockets because the schools want to spend their money on other things besides books and knowledge and learning. So Marianne thought, you know what? How do I get these books to the teachers when the teachers can't afford them? Let's find an organization to sponsor these books. What a creative way to to generate book sales for people that would love to utilize and have these books, but they can't afford them. So there's organizations out there that will sponsor different things and different activities and different resources like this. So it's a win-win-win situation for Marianne's books and, for more importantly, for the teachers and their students.
That's exactly right. And she has an unbelievable book, just like what we're getting ready to do. I mean, we're getting ready to open up 291 stores all across the country. Those books, some of her puppets are being there along with Dr. Emoto, Messages of Water. Um, and they have kid books. That's a part of that also. So that's exactly right what you're saying.
Yep, absolutely. So, even a small win can be celebrated, because the small win can open up many doors down the road to make it a bigger win.
And if you look at it, if you save one person's life, that's a big win, because a life is precious. I've given speeches and say, how much is a life worth? You can't put a price on a life. So if
Yep.
I can give a kid clean, fresh drinking water, just one, you done did something that's priceless.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the combination of myself getting involved with Marianne, and hopefully, Leon, we can have a good conversation, and I can help start organizing and promoting something for you guys. The world is going to win one page at a time, one cup of water at a time, and one opportunity to create a new clean water system for multitudes of people, one door at a time.
That's what we're going to do. That's why we got to love the Ability Network for what they have done to put us all together, and for this bundle package that we're putting together. And it all came out with the World of Ability.
Yes, and we got to thank Miss Emily for creating a wonderful safe space to provide other people to tell their stories, to generate connections, to create conversation, to share our story with many different people. So thank you, Miss Emily. You do a wonderful job, and you give us the platform to share to multitudes of different people in many different places.
Well, thank you. You're welcome, Santa. And we are kind of coming up at the end of the show here, but I would sort of like to go around and everybody give if anybody has any last words.
Well,
Marianne, do you have any?
I just want to thank you, Emily, Kurt, and Sue, and especially Jay Stoyan. What a birthday wish to come true. Thank you, Awesome Foundation, for accepting me as a winner so that we could share the good news with everyone. And you are its messenger. And so go out and play as our tagline. I'm Marianne of Waikiki, and aloha.
Leanne, do you have any last words before we end
Yeah,
here?
I would just like to say thank you, Emily, Kurt, Sue, and the things that we're doing. Like I said, this weekend with the garden party that we're going to have at Kim McGuire place, along with airline ambassadors. That's American Airlines nonprofit that'll be publishing, putting out an article about what we're doing this Sunday, and we're sending water filters to the Hopi and Navajo reservation, where 4,000 children and their family will now have clean, fresh drinking water. If anybody want to join us, they can go to www.cleanwaterfoundationwa.org. And we're a nonprofit. You get a tax write-off, $150, provide 50 people with clean, fresh drinking water. And thanks for hooking up with Santa, where we can put this bundle package together. It's going to be totally amazing. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Sienna, any
Leon.
last words?
Thanks, Marianne. I mean, you know, getting the word out, talking to different people, using different platforms, sharing the ability to be proud that you care about people. And that's a huge sentence right there, because there's so many people on different platforms that have the me attitude, whereas the Disability Channel, Marianne, Leon, and myself, and I'm sure there's many other people out there, we care about people. We want to get the bigger picture out there. We want to show them that there are resources out there to help make the bigger picture better than it is today.
Yes, indeed.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So I'd like to thank all you guys for joining us today, and for the others that were here earlier. And for those of you who tuned in, and I also encourage everybody to for everybody check out our social media. Like, share, comment, and so on. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on. Again, we are here every Saturday at 1:00 p.m. Central. And love to have everybody join us. And so if you're interested in joining us for a show, the show or any of the shows in our network, please let us know. And get that taken care of. Also, we're working with some great partners like the Disability Channel, Transforming Media, Wingate Studios, Earl Williams, Zach Clayton, so on. So love everybody to connect with those organizations as well. So until next time, everybody has a safe and productive week, and to stay happy.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
everybody.
Talk to you guys later.